The two neighbors Haiti and the Dominican Republic share a common border. Yeah, like twins separated at birth, each raised in unique circumstances. One flourishes with abundance, while the other struggles against the odds. But what happens when two twins with divergent destinies cross paths? Yeah, a clash of tales. In the verdant landscapes of Hispaniola, the second largest island in the West Indies, history has woven a complex tapestry. As the boundary soars over the shared border, the stark disparities between Haiti in the west and the Dominican Republic in the east come into focus. Due to geographic makeup, the winds that flow over the island often favor the Dominican Republic, leaving the eastern part to be greener and more attractive. Let's begin with some compelling statistics about the two. Capital cities. Saint-Domingue is the capital of the Dominican Republic while Port-au-Prince is the capital of Haiti. Satellite view of the twins. Satellite view of the twins showcases shared borders. Haiti with 27,750 square kilometers and the Dominican Republic, 48,442 square kilometers, doesn't make it a clear distinction in size? Yeah, it does. Population and GDP. Haiti's 11.45 million population struggles economically with a GDP per capita of $1,829. On the other hand, Dominican Republic has 11.12 million people and a prosperous GDP per capita of $8,477. Comparatively, the Dominican Republic has a much faster growing economy. Language. Haitian are French Creole-speaking descendants of African slaves, while the Dominican Republic are Dominican Spanish-speaking people. Comparison with other countries. To truly grasp the magnitude of their differences, let's draw some comparisons. Haiti's struggles find resonance when compared to European nations like Andorra, with similar land areas but incomparable GDP per capita. Meanwhile, the Dominican Republic's economic mastery rivals that of certain U.S. states, like Mississippi and West Virginia. And there, have it, the mesmerizing tale of why Haiti and the Dominican Republic are vastly different. From border to border, their stories unfold like pages in a gripping novel. To understand the differences between the two, the story dates back to the 15th century. So, let's get to know a few chunks of the history of Hispaniola first. It all began in 1942 with the adventurous Christopher Columbus, sponsored by the Spanish crown, setting sail on his first voyage of discovery in the 15th century. After reaching the Bahamas in the northwestern West Indies, Columbus' path led him to Hispaniola, formerly Columbus named Hispaniola la Isla Española, which means the Spanish island, where he made landfall and encountered the indigenous Taino people. The place attracted Columbus so, in a momentous letter to the Spanish crown, Columbus detailed his encounters with the Taino people and his vision for the land. His voyage marked the beginning of a chaotic history for both Haiti and the Dominican Republic. After Christopher Columbus' first voyage to the Americas, the response to his letter in Spain was overwhelmingly positive. After all, every state wants to expand its territory. Consequently, he received additional support for subsequent expeditions from the crown. In 1493, Columbus undertook his second voyage to further explore and establish a permanent colony. This marked the birth of La Isabela, the first European settlement in the New World, situated on the northern coast of the present-day Dominican Republic. Building a colony wasn't without challenges. La Isabela faced harsh living conditions, diseases, and conflicts with the indigenous Taino people. Despite Queen Isabella's presence and encouragement, the settlement struggled to thrive. By 1498, Columbus decided to abandon La Isabela, leaving the colonists with tough choices: return to Spain or seek refuge in nearby Hispaniola. Following Queen Isabella's reign, Spanish monarchs persisted in colonization efforts, spurring growth in the Dominican Republic. Spanish rule brought several key factors leading to population growth, including the encomienda system, importation of African slaves, intermarriage, immigration, and independence in 1844. Fast forward to the 17th century when French buccaneers turned Hispaniola's western part into a base for their exploits. The Treaty of Ryswick in 1697 sealed the deal, granting France the western third of the island, now known as Saint-Domingue. It was in 1804 when the enslaved Africans of Saint-Domingue, present-day Haiti, rose in revolt, marking the birth of the first free black republic. But their triumph came at a cost, a crippling debt owed to France for recognition. Focusing on the Dominican Republic's history, it claimed the eastern two-thirds of Hispaniola and secured independence from Spanish rule in 1844. Overcoming challenges, the nation achieved stability via consistent democratic elections. Its diversified economy, embracing tourism, agriculture, mining, and textiles, bolsters GDP, infrastructure, and development indicators beyond Haiti's. Despite its developmental status, the Dominican Republic strides forward with remarkable progress. What accounted for such stark differences between the two? Here are some of the key factors. Colonial legacies. Spain's longer colonization of the Dominican Republic versus France's shorter rule in Haiti led to more established institutions in the former. The French sought to maximize profits by importing enslaved Africans, depleting Haiti's soil through repetitive cultivation. This transformed Haiti into France's most lucrative colony but destroyed its long-term prosperity. Reparations and debt. After gaining independence in 1804, both nations took very different paths. Unlike the Dominican Republic, Haiti faced economic shackles after independence in 1804, including steep reparations to France as the price for recognition. This heavy debt burden crippled Haiti's economic development and sovereignty. The Dominican Republic encountered no such restraints on its economy and autonomy after independence. Political stability. The political landscape played a significant role in shaping their destinies. Haiti's history of political instability and corruption, with frequent government turnover and turmoil, has impeded effective policymaking and long-term planning. The Dominican Republic has enjoyed greater continuity in government, enabling more consistent implementation of policies and strategic development. Foreign interventions. Haiti's history has been marked by repeated foreign interventions, including military occupations and political interference, which have further complicated its governance and development. The Dominican Republic, on the other hand, has had relatively fewer instances of foreign intervention. Infrastructure and investment. Now, let's see how investment in infrastructure impacted their growth. The Dominican Republic has invested more in infrastructure and education from an earlier stage of its development compared to Haiti. This has contributed to better transportation networks, communication systems, and a more educated workforce. Economic diversification. The Dominican Republic has a more diversified export economy, including tourism, sugar, coffee, and mining. This diversification has provided the country with multiple revenue streams and reduced its dependence on a single industry. In contrast, Haiti's economy relies heavily on agriculture, making it more vulnerable to fluctuations in commodity prices and natural disasters. Despite ongoing challenges, the Dominican Republic's relative stability and economic diversity point to a more promising future trajectory. Haiti's outlook remains uncertain, hinging on establishing incorruptible leadership to root out ingrained corruption that has long throttled advancement. The country's fate ultimately relies on this crucial foundation for progress. That's all for now. Leave a comment below to learn more about Caribbean history or development.